Good afternoon, traders. How are we? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome back to Simply Forex, the channel that gives you in-depth market analysis, trade ideas, tips and advice so you too can succeed at trading, guys, right? And if you stay till the end of the live stream, I'm going to take as many of your questions as humanly possible, all right? So don't be shy, guys. Ask as many questions as you like in the live stream. Let me get rid of these lines. I was doing a little tutorial earlier on, but let me remove these blue lines because you're probably thinking, Tom, that looks bloody messy, and I would agree. So yeah, how are you guys? Hope you're all having a good trading week. As always, I'm going to share with you a trade that I entered today, and I'm going to take you through that. And it's a US dollar pair. So we'll start there. I'll take you through the trade that I've taken. We'll also take all of your questions, guys, and we have important economic news coming out. Not super duper important, but important, right? We've got at hour, we've got all of this coming out of the US, guys, all right? And I'm actually in a US dollar trade, so this will be interesting for me. So at hour, guys, someone please remind me, say, Tom, we have news, pay bloody attention. So there you go. We'll take a look at that at hour. Let's go back to pound US dollar because this is the trade that I am in, right? Now, let me show you this, guys. We could have traded any US dollar pair today, right? So if I just show you the free Discord, right? So this is the free Discord, and this is where I put all of my trades, right? This is what I'm looking to trade. Obviously, I don't trade all of these, right? That would be mental. But if I get a setup, I will take a trade, right? And as you can see, look, the majority are US dollar pairs, right? Aussie dollar, US dollar, Euro, US dollar, pound, US dollar, New Zealand dollar, US dollar, Swiss, US dollar, yen, gold is US dollar, right? We've only got these two trades here and here that are not US dollar. And it's all to do with US dollar strength today, right? So that was the catalyst for the trade that I took. And out of all of those, I took pound US dollar sells. So if we go back to pound US dollar, as with a lot of the US dollar majors, and we've looked at pound US dollar quite a bit the last couple of days on the live stream. And it's a trade, right? We're at a weekly resistance level, okay? At that level, we have seen daily sellers come into the market. You know, we had this candle, we were like, are sellers, you know, taking control? And then we get this candle, and I would say, yes, they're in control. And because we're against trend, right, if we just follow structure of the market, because we're against trend, I have a conservative target, right? I'm only going to take price back down to this last high and this 1.32 thousand level. So that's all the reasons why I can sell pound US dollar. Another big reason was the fact that I was seeing, you know, several US dollar majors as trades, right? That is confluence in itself, right? I was seeing US dollar strength against pretty much every US dollar major, right? I think it was every US dollar major, including gold. So that's extra confluence as well. And then on the H4, you know, maybe I got in a little bit early, right? But it's fine because I hid my stop loss in a suitable position. But I actually got in on this candle here, right? So as you can see on the H4, we've had that big sell-off. That's all these sellers coming into the market. And this is where we were, right? It was in a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows, right? And then I saw this candle here. Not super bearish, not super duper bearish, but bearish, right? You could argue, Tom, that wasn't bearish enough, right? And in hindsight, I would be like, okay, I agree. But nonetheless, I entered here, started selling, right? And I've put my stop above here. And then my target was back down to this 1.32 thousand level. So I still had just enough room to get my 1:1, which was the reason why, or one of the reasons why I took the trade early, along with the bearish candle. And if you look on the H1, guys, right, there was like this level through here, right? You could see all these lows here, right? And price was bouncing off of that level through here as well. All right, so that was a few of the reasons why I took it. But I'm still in this trade, and yeah, we're looking to take it back down. Now, we do have some US dollar news, as I explained, and we'll take a look at that when that comes out. So that is one trade that I am in. But just look at all the US dollar pairs, right? Let's start down here. If we go to the H4, if we look at the daily, all right, this is US dollar yen. Let's start with the weekly, actually, it's a bit clearer. US dollar yen, nice support level, right? We can expect buyers here and therefore US dollar strength. And then if we go to the day chart, again, we had this candle and we're like, right, our buyers in control. Yes, they bloody are. Look at the next candle. That is super bullish. Again, we're against trend, right? If you look at the day chart, we're clearly against trend, right? There's no two ways about that. So all I'm aiming for, guys, right, is when I start seeing the next piece of support in here. So if we take this blue line here, I would aim for, 144 as a target, all right? Because that's where we potentially first see our piece of resistance in here, right? All of this here is resistance on the way up. And we got the moving average 20 coming down. So 144 would be a good target for US dollar yen. Now, again, on the H4, I'm looking for a setup. And this, we do have US dollar news coming out. I don't know if I've mentioned that enough yet. But we have some lovely setups. And we've only got 42 minutes, 15 seconds. See, maths genius. To go until this H4 candle finishes, right? And looking at this H4 candle, this looks pretty good for US dollar yen, right? Start taking it back up to these highs, if not further, right? Potentially hide behind this low here. And they're all setting up, all the US dollar, but I like US dollar Swiss franc, right? Again, we were in this uptrend. It's retraced. You can see these candles in here, right? You can see there's an area through here. And if you take this left as well, there's clearly an area through here. And we're getting a nice bounce off that area. US dollar Swiss looks nice, right? If the H4 candle finishes something like this, right? All of them. I like all of them. Let's have a look at Euro US dollar, because we had some positive Euro news earlier. Let me just go to the economic calendar, right? We had this all positive news for the Euro earlier, right? But we didn't see a massive reaction. But again, if we look at Euro US dollar, right, we're in a downtrend. Any bearish candle in here would be a good sell trade as well. Aussie dollar US dollar, you're getting the idea without boring you all to tears. H4 downtrend, right? Yeah, anywhere in here would be get a nice bearish candle, start selling. All right, so yeah, really interested in US dollar pairs, if you could tell. I'm not sure how you could tell that, but yeah, there you go, guys. Right, and there are a couple more trades I'm looking at as well. I mean, contrary to my trade idea, I'm in pound US dollar sells because of US dollar strength, but I also like pound Canadian dollar longs if we break a certain level. Now, if we look at pound Canadian dollar, we're in this uptrend, right? We spoke about this trade yesterday. And then we've got, this is sort of bullish enough, right? This bottom wick. I know it's not a super bullish candle, but it's bullish enough for me to start looking at trades or potential areas that it could break, right? And I'll show you what I mean. So pound Canadian dollar potentially back up to here, right? But because this isn't a super duper bullish candle, right? If we drop down to the H4, all I do is mark this level in, right? You can see these last H4 highs in here, right? We've got one here, we got one here. I say to myself, if we break this level, if we get a nice big bullish candle and we break this level, I would buy pound Canadian dollar. If we don't get a break of that level, not interested, right? You know, and guys, all of you should do that. You should plan your trade, right? Plan ahead. I know if that happens, I'll enter. If it doesn't, I won't, right? So you should be very binary, very clear with what you want to do with a trade before it even happens, okay? So there you go, guys. That's me, right? Let's take a few questions now. Let's go to the live chat. Let's see what homeboys and homegirls are in the house today. Brett, afternoon. Brett, how are you, mate? James, how are you? James, we were talking about pound US dollar yesterday. I am in it. Prathish, hello, superstar. Prathish, I will pay you later. Brett, love your simple price action video, by the way, Tom. Cheers, Brett. And yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out my price action video, we posted it Tuesday. It really breaks down what I look at and how I read a chart, right? So go check out that price action vid, guys, right? So I think it's about 40 minutes. It will be 40 minutes well spent if you want to understand price action. So go check it out. Thank you for reminding me, Brett. Luigi, the most Italian sounding man in the world. Hi, how are you? Okay, and then we've got a question here, Brett. I'm looking for a potential long on NAS using H4 time frame. What's your ideas on this, Tom? All right, let's start with the NAS then. But also, guys, anyone who's in the live stream, please don't be shy. Come say hello, leave a question, and we will answer as many questions as possible. I keep saying we, like I'm, you know, like I have two personalities. I probably do, actually. I probably have a trading personality where I'm like this disciplined robot, and then I have the non-trading personality where I can finish a packet of cookies and show no discipline whatsoever, or put a bag of crisps in front of me, or, you know, that's why I have to go down the gym. So there you go, guys. Scott, good morning as well. So let's take a look at the NAS. Right, everyone's interested in the indices, right? Because this has a big effect on, you know, flight to safety pairs, which, let's be honest, makes up a lot of the currencies and commodities we look at, right? Gold, Swiss franc, yen, right? So, yeah, very interested in the indices. I always take a look at the indices every day. Now, it's scruffy, right? Look at all these gap ups and gap downs, right? It's scruffy, yeah, because in here, price doesn't know what to do, right? So let me just show you. So at the moment, we're in a daily downtrend. And now all of a sudden, we've had a pop up at this level, right? Now, between here and here, between this level here and this level here, there's lots of uncertainty. I mean, there's uncertainty anyway, like geopolitically, obviously, right? China and America are like Rocky Balboa and Dolph Lundgren. Couldn't think of a China, you know, a Rocky adversary. Don't think there is one, but you get the idea, right? America is Rocky, and then we've got, I just cannot think of a Chinese boxer. Anyone know a Chinese boxer? I'll be amazed, but please leave it in the live chat. Anyway, so we've got this. It's a clear downtrend right here. We've got lower highs, right? Lower lows. And now all of a sudden, have we got higher lows, right? So between here and here, price has just been gapping up and gapping down. And, you know, it's a bit of a mess, right? I would like to see a break to the upside. I would be bullish NAS, or a break to the downside, and I would be bearish NAS, right? Also a famous rapper. Now, you were just asking about H4, Brett. So let's just look at H4. Now, what concerns me, like, if you look at the H4, right, just ignoring the gap ups and gap downs, this is where we're at, right? We are clearly in an uptrend. We was in a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows, right? But now we've got higher highs, potentially higher lows, right? So we're in an uptrend now. We're above the moving average 20 as well. And let's be honest, if we get a candle that looks like this, and this candle finishes like this, right? Remember, this is a H4 candle. It hasn't finished forming yet. Then 100% that is a buying opportunity normally, right? The only thing that is just, you know, like a woodpecker at the side of my head, right, is this gap. The market wants to fill that gap. So I would like to see this reaction down here, and it fills the gap. Then I would have no woodpecker doing this. Dear, I don't know where my analogies get to sometimes, right? But you get the, you know, you get a little nagging feeling, not feeling, nagging something, woodpecker. Anyway, I haven't been drinking, guys, honestly. But that's what's bugging me here, is that. So normally, yes, this combination, take it back up to the highs, maybe even a bit further into this resistance level. But that gap is bugging the hell out of me. I want that to be filled. It does stop me from taking a trade, a gap up, a gap down. If that gap up or gap down isn't filled, then, you know, if my trade idea is to fill it anyway, that's great, right? It's another piece of confluence. But if I'm taking a trade away from the gap, then it bugs me. All right. So, yeah, there's my couple of pence on that, Brett. I hope it helps, mate. Right, let me just have a quick drink. Before I do, guys, if I could please ask everyone to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button if you haven't already. Please don't forget to come join our trading community, right? We've got traders in there sharing knowledge, ideas. You can have a chit chat. So come join our free Discord channel. It is free. Also, guys, if you would like to improve as a trader, then we have loads of great premium trading education on our website. So if you go to www.simply-forex.com, you've got access to the Simply Forex. So have the mentorship program where I coach you one-on-one, and you can get access to the VIP Trading Academy as well. So if you want to improve as a trader, go check that out. And also, guys, today's live stream is brought to you by Blueberry Funded. So if you're a trader looking to increase your capital, then look no further. Blueberry Funded are willing to give you 20% off any funded challenge right now if you use our link and the code above my head. And Blueberry Funded, guys, we've partnered up with them for some time now. And we're just getting loads of great positive reports, right, on people using Blueberry Funded. And they're backed by, you know, a world-leading broker as well. So check it out. Let me have a drink while everyone is smashing that like button, hopefully. Right. We've got some other bit. Rahil wants to look at Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Brett says it has to be Maryland cookies, Tom. Yeah, I know Maryland cookies, but to be honest with you, Brett, it could be any form of biscuit or cookie. I am not fussy. I am like the cookie monster out of Sesame Street. Honestly, it's just like crumbs all over my face. I have to shower after I eat cookies. It's like feeding time at the zoo. Not painting a lovely picture. Okay, Scott. Scott, you have amazed me. Scott has managed to find a Chinese boxer. Zhu Shaiming is a Chinese boxer. Scott, 3 points for that general knowledge. So what's going on in the markets is like Rocky Balboa and Su Shiming. We got there with that analogy in the end. We got Sir Sabrosa wants to look at Euro Aussie dollar. Okay, right, we've got some other questions coming in. Right, let's have a look at Aussie dollar yen then for Rahil. And I'll tell you what we haven't done in a while is we haven't done a nice piece of analysis together. So that's what we're going to do, guys, right? I want all of you to get involved with this. And we're going to do a top-down approach together as one big happy family. Let me take this out. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit because we have to zoom out. I mentioned this yesterday. We have to zoom out because prices are at such extremes. And when prices are such extremes, you have to go back some to start finding levels. Right, so looking at the weekly chart, right, we're going to analyze Aussie dollar yen together for Rahil. Okay, so weekly chart. Anytime you look at a chart, guys, you have three options. You can buy it, you can sell it, or you can stay out of it. And these are your only three options, right? So keep trading that simple. Now, if you look at the weekly chart, guys, right now, I want everyone to get involved. Please leave your answer in the live chat. And the question is, Aussie dollar yen, weekly chart only, would you buy, sell, or stay out of the market? All right, so everyone get involved, guys. Buy, sell, or stay out of the market. Aussie dollar yen, weekly chart. While you leave your answers, I am going to drink my neat vodka. Right, Varys straight in with a buy. Brett would stay out. And I really enjoy doing this because I like getting everyone's perspective. And I'll explain why in a minute. Mike would stay out. Peter Price would sell. Ali says weekly downtrend. So Ali, what's your answer? Buy, sell, or stay out? Right. Sir Sabrosa would stay out. Felis Bella, beautifully pronounced. I recognize your name from the Discord. Would buy. I believe you won the analysis challenge recently. Scott would stay out. Stay out. Okay. So majority of people is a stay out. We've got some sells in there as well, a couple of buys. So, okay, we've got more coming in. Ivan would sell. Right, so you can see, guys, right, how interesting this is because you times a few million, right? You are what makes up the market, and what you're showing me here is sentiment. Right, we're just doing it with a very small sample, right? But if we done this with 12 million traders, right, you would get a very good idea of sentiment for Aussie dollar yen on the weekly chart, right? And then what I want to see when we look at a chart, I want all of you to be like, I want, to sell the market. I want literally 90% of you to be saying, Tom, sell it. Because I want everyone seeing the same thing. Or you think, right, Tom, we're going to buy it. And if everyone's thinking the same thing, chances are price will move in that direction. Right? Whereas all of your answers are like sell, buy, stay out, sell, stay out, buy. It's a real mixed bag. So that alone tells me to stay out, right? For that reason, right? You are the sentiment. It makes perfect sense. But let's analyze it from a price action point of view, right? Now, I zoomed out because I wanted to show you the importance of this level, right? So let's do a technical breakdown on it, Okay, so the importance of this level is a key support level, right? Fact. Okay, again, facts on a chart. At that level, we had a very bullish push off that level. We know it was geopolitical. It was Trump saying we will have a pause, a 90-day pause on tariffs, but it doesn't matter. At that level, we had a big bullish bounce off that level, right? Now, more facts. That's all I deal in is facts. I'm the facts dealer, right? We're in a downtrend. Fact. Lower highs, right? Lower lows. We're in a downtrend. Okay. You don't need to be Warren Buffett to see that's in a downtrend. Now, what you're getting here as a result is indecision, right? We had 1 week of indecision last week. You know, we've only got one more trading day this week. It'll be interesting to see how this candle finishes. But so far, indecision. Now, why do we have indecision? Because we've got daily sellers, we're in a downtrend, and we've got these weekly buyers off this weekly support level. And of course, if you get these two, you know, conflicting forces, right? I have to go back to my physics A level there. If you get these two conflicting forces, then you're going to get price that does that. I hope you can all see my finger. You're basically going to get price that does that, right? Probably best to show you on the chart than use my finger. Okay. Now, for that reason, and for that reason, we can understand all of your, you know, all of what you says makes sense, right? So for me, it's a stay out, right? Because of these two conflicting forces, right? But everyone who said sells, I get it, right? We're in a downtrend. We've retraced. We could start selling down to here. And for everyone who said buy, I get it. We've had this big bullish bounce off this level, and we could potentially just come up a little bit higher and get up to this last support level, right? So I understand buying. And that also should tell you to stay out. If I look at a chart and I think there's a good argument for buying and selling, then automatically it should be a stay out trade. And this weekly chart for me is stay out, right? Can it go that little bit further? Maybe. Let the market tell you. Then I'd be looking for sells if I get a nice reaction. Or will it just react here and come lower, right? Yeah, so stay out for me on the weekly chart with Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. The next one we're going to do is the day chart, but we do have news in 2 minutes, which I've just been kindly informed. But while we look at the news, guys, right, I'm going to ask you the same question. Because this is what I do every morning, right? I look at the daily first, to be honest, and then I look at the weekly. But we've looked at the weekly. We're now going to look at the daily, right? And I'm going to ask you the same question. Would you buy, sell, or stay out of the market? But let's wait for the US dollar news to come out first. And then we will continue this analysis together, because it's a really good breakdown of multiple time frame analysis, resulting in the decision of, do I have a trade or not, right? And this is what you should do every day, guys. You know, sometimes I mentor traders and they're like, Tom, I get in after work, I load up the chart, I take a look at the H4 and I see if I've got a trade. You know, like, that's not going to end well. There's not enough preparation. You're going to be very impulsive. You do need to consider other time frames, right? Just to give you some extra data. So don't do that, right? But anyway, we got news in 30 seconds. Anyone got a good joke? If you have, please leave it in the live chat while we fill the next 20 seconds. Yeah, and Tom is a cookie hoe. He will eat any type of cookie. Yeah, this is true. Pretty much any type of crisp, any type of cookie. I don't buy them. Right, let's have, so I don't do it. Let's have a look at pound US dollar. This is the trade that I'm in. Okay, so not much of a reaction to the news. The news has just come out. We'll take a look at the news in a minute, guys. But we just want to see reaction first so we can get an idea of what the news was. So we're seeing a little bit of US dollar strength here. Not much, let's be honest, right? That's very muted. Let's have a look at Euro US dollar. All right, a bit of US dollar strength there. Let's have a look at US dollar yen. Okay, not massive move, right? But a bit of US dollar strength. Let's have a look at US dollar CAD. Okay, so on the whole, we're seeing a bit of US dollar strength, which is what I want for my pound US dollar trade. But I'm going to say the news was as expected, and one of them was a little bit better than expected. I genuinely enjoy playing Guess the News game. Maybe not that enjoyable for everyone else, but I enjoy it. Right, let's take a look. Okay, so, all right, so the big one was as expected. Okay, then the next big one, I say the big one because it's 3-star ratings and 3-star ratings. That was crazily better than that. That is a big jump, guys, right? You've got 0.9%, 2.1%, and now it's 9.2%. This one was worse than expected, but only a 2-star rating, and continuing jobless claims was better than expected. So overall, that data is bullish for the US dollar, right? And that's why we're seeing a bit of US dollar strength come into the market. Not much, not a big reaction, but we're seeing some US dollar strength anyway. Okay, so let's go back to what we were doing before the news, guys, right? Now we're going to go back to, what was we looking at? Aussie dollar yen. Right, now we're going to go back to the day chart. So literally, guys, I just asked you about the weekly chart and how you would trade it, right? But now we're going to do the daily chart. And it's exactly the same question, right? Now, looking at the daily chart, Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, would you buy, sell, or stay out of the market? That's it. I don't want to hear if it retraces into here, if it's if it breaks structure here, if it reaches. My only question, and you should keep your trading this simple, is would you buy, sell, or stay out of this market? So everyone, please leave your comment in the live chat right now. I will carry on drinking my vodka. I've just got to share Scott's joke, everyone. It's a classically bad, good joke. You know what I mean? Did you hear the joke about the vacuum? Never mind, it sucks. Shouldn't laugh, but yeah, good joke. Right, so everyone get involved. Right, Mike is stay out. Aussie dollar yen day chart. Mike would stay out. Felis Bella would stay out. Brett would stay out. Scott would stay out. James would stay out. Varys would stay out. I changed my mind. Ali would stay out. Okay, so a bad dad joke. Scott, I love a bad dad joke. Okay, anyone else, guys? I'm trying to think of a bad dad joke now. We welcome bad dad jokes, bad mum jokes, bad dad jokes, bad teenager jokes, whatever. We appreciate all jokes. So this is interesting, guys, right? Now we're looking at the daily chart, and pretty much everyone, right, is telling me to stay out. So again, when I spoke about sentiment, this is what you are. You're sentiment of the market, and all of you have told me to stay out, right? And that is good advice, right? Because I should put this level in here, right? Because that's proven to be, like in this daily. So I should put that level in, but before I get carried away, let's just look at the facts and let's understand why this is a stay out, right? Now, again, we're going to deal in facts. I'm kind of seeing this, right? Right? So we're in a downtrend. We're getting lower highs, lower lows, right? We've been in a downtrend. We know yen was strong. We had this big push down, right? We were in a downtrend. Now, as prices pushed back off that level, we're not sure anymore, right? Are we starting to see higher lows? And even if we are, you can clearly see that is resistance, right? And we've got the moving average 20 coming down, which is dynamic resistance. So again, everything I'm showing you is just facts, right? It's not me. I'm not forming an opinion. I'm using the facts to make a business decision. That's how I see trading, right? I'm not using it to form an opinion. Right, I'm using the facts to come up with a business decision, right? Like you would, if some of you guys have your own business or, a job, if you're in charge of something, you will get all the facts to make a decision, right? I think I've reiterated that point enough. You get the idea. So it's stay out, right? Because this level's holding, right? Regardless of trend and everything, I don't want to be buying into resistance, which is what this is. And even if we had a candle that looked like that, right, and we would determine that as we've actually broken these last highs and we're in an uptrend, I still don't want to buy into this resistance here, right? So pretty much Aussie dollar yen, I know I won't have a trade in here, a buy trade, because it's just resistance followed by resistance. Right? If we get a big bearish candle bounce off this level, break these lows, then I'm all over selling it, right? But as you all perfectly said, you wonderful people, stay out, right? There's no advantage in taking this trade. This level could be the turning point where it does this, or it could be that level. But the truth of the matter is we don't know. But why buy into it? All right. So, yeah, there you go, guys. Totally agree with your wonderful analysis. Rahil will sell it if it reaches 92. Yeah, and I get that, Rahil. Yeah, this is basically these last lows, right? If I go across, you're at 92. I get that. But then you also need to consider if you do get a nice bullish candle like this up to 92, we've had a daily structure break. Do you still want to take the trade? Right? So I don't disagree with your preconceived idea, Rahil, like selling at 92. If you looked at the weekly chart, selling at 92 would make very good sense and would be a good trade. But the market and price is so fluid. Now, once price gets to 92, we need to see what price is doing at that level. If we're seeing a fresh daily structure break and bullish candles, I'm not selling it. I'm not touching the 92 level for sales, right? So you need to be fluid. Like trading is such a contradictory thing, right? Because you need to be very rigid in terms of your plan, right? Your strategy, your money and risk management, your strategy itself, and your emotions. You must be very rigid. But the market is the most fluid thing you will ever see, and it's constantly changing. From one day to the next, it changes, right? So you need to be fluid yet rigid. I sound like a wise Chinese, it sounds like a wise Chinese proverb. Yeah, you need to be rigid but fluid like river. You need to be rigid like rock but fluid like river. Sorry, I was trying to do a Chinese accent as well. Terrible. But you get the idea, right? So don't have these preconceived ideas, right? If price gets here, understand what price is doing when it gets to a level, right? I plot on my charts, as you can see, and I like levels, right? Obviously, everyone, you need a level to trade from, but you want to see how price approaches that level and what's happening across different time frames. Anyway, I'll stop ranting about that. Guys, if you enjoy my analysis, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. Also, guys, please don't forget to join our trading community. Come join our free Discord channel. If you want to improve as a trader, then please check out our website, www.simply-forex.com. There's loads of great premium education on there. And also, guys, don't forget, today's live stream is brought to you by Blueberry Funded. And if you want any funded challenge right now, they will give you 20% off if you use our link and our code above my head. Go check it out. Right, what else are we? Nafal, you are in Dubai. Yes, I am, Nafal. Yeah, I am. I like Dubai. Been here about 10 years, over 10 years now. Who would have believed it? Married, got a kid now, becoming a responsible adult. Right, what else are we looking at? Guys, we've got time for one more question. Anyone, did I miss a question up here? Let me take a quick look. Okay, so we've got a question here. And sorry, Sir Sabrosa wanted to look at Euro Aussie dollar. Varys, I see you've got a question on hedging here. Now, that would need 3 hours to take you through. The best thing to do, Varys, I put all of my hedging tutorials on the VIP Discord, right? So if you want access to all of my hedging tutorials, and there's tens of them in there, then please join our VIP, right? But we've got also tutorials on strategy, trade entries, managing trades, loads of cool stuff, guys. If you're interested in all that, come join the VIP Discord. Prathish, the personality of Wonder Woman's boyfriend, I wish. And just quickly, let's look at Euro Aussie dollar for Sir Sabrosa. I didn't forget you. Right. I'm going to do, this is what I do every morning very quickly, right? This is how quickly I do it, right? So, right, weekly chart. Actually, I start with the day chart. So let's do it exactly how I do it. Day chart. Now, I look at this and I'm like, right, what's the trend? Okay. And then we're seeing this. Right. No trade. Right. We just got contraction. Right. Here and here. Yeah, just complete and utter contraction, right? If I get a candle that does this, I'm interested in buying. If I get a big bearish candle that does this, quite a fat candle, I'm interested in selling. Simple as that. Right now, don't want to touch it. That is in a complete, horrible, shitty price action. Just look at this on the H4, right? You would have got chopped to death. Yeah, from here to here. Yeah, you'll be like, right, we're in a downtrend. Right, we're in a downtrend. Let's start selling back down to these lows. Doesn't make it, takes you out. Right, we're in an uptrend. We've got a retrace. Let's start buying in here. Comes down, chops you out. We're back at these lows, right? Should we start buying? But we're in a downtrend. Get the idea. Stay away from choppy, crappy, poopy, terrible, irritable, annoying, untradeable price action. And on that note, we'll call it a day, guys. All right. So thank you very much for your time once again, guys. Really appreciate it. Please don't forget to go check out all of our promotions we've got running right now. Go check out that price action video that I posted on Tuesday. And also, yeah, come join us for more of the live streams next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. See you later, guys. Have a great trading week.